Welcome to Speaking Prowess, the show that supercharges your communication and fuels unstoppable success. Sifu Raphael, visionary founder and world-renowned master instructor, elevates leaders into unforgettable communicators who command the room and inspire action. Alongside him is Scott Schilling, the authentic connector, a business growth expert with 40 years of experience, empowering audiences to rise higher, succeed faster, and thrive with purpose. Together, they bring you the strategies, insights, and inspiration to amplify your voice, expand your influence, and unlock your true potential. This is Speaking Prowess. Your journey to communication mastery starts now.
5, 4,
Well, Scott, how are you, my friend?
I am absolutely fabulous. And you?
I'm exceptional and getting better every day.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yes. I got to tell you, we have such an incredible powerhouse with us today. And wait till you meet her. I mean, let's not waste any more time. Sabine, welcome to Speaking Prowess. How are you?
Good to see you again, Sufi. Nice meeting you, Scott.
Good to meet you as well. I'm looking forward to hearing your genius.
Oh, gosh. Well, I do my best.
So I love the topic that we're going to be talking about. It's the courage to be seen. And even you are not seen sometimes, Sabine, because you were directing. You were doing all these different things. You were backstage, and the audience did not necessarily get to see you, but you were still seen by the most important people. Talk to us about that.
All right. So before I took the backstage route, director and producing shows, I was an actress. So I was always on. I was seen, and I played some fantastic roles like Madame Thénardier in Les Miserables musical theater and some German plays. But when I started my own business, a performing arts school that I founded together with my husband, so I stepped into the director's role. And years before, I created some shows across the world. But it also taught me the storytelling aspect. And people are being seen when they tell stories, because people connect. We have that deep connection about stories. We have that million-year-old brain that is wired for stories. That's how we started out communicating. And that's fascinating to me. And when I started the directing part, I felt a new joy in telling stories through other people. So that's in a nutshell what that means to be seen, even if you're not being seen, because your name is still on there as the director.
Yes, I love that.
So
Scott, what are your thoughts?
having that expertise, were you able to help those that you're directing, the actors and actresses, actually be seen even further?
Oh, absolutely. The work of a good director is to see that talent in front of you and then find a way that you extract that special, that uniqueness out of that performer. And when you do that, oftentimes fear is part of it that hold people back. And I see it now also when I work with entrepreneurs, extracting their story. But once you're able to do this and you see how they feel, how they bloom, that is the best experience that in not just that, but very much so as a director. And then, of course, seeing the whole entire product of the performance that then connects to the audience. Those are the powerful um, experiences of an actor, of a director.
I love the concept of the experiences, right? Because in some experiences, we don't want to be seen at all. We just want to be supporting uh, part. But in other aspects, when we don't expect to be seen, we're seen, and sometimes we're seen a lot. So as an actress, it was your role to be seen. You had to be seen.
Mhm.
Um, as Scott has spoken on so many different stages with some people that are very notable, he always made sure that they were seen also, and that they made sure he was seen. So everybody was playing off each other, because a lot of times is when we edify another person,
Yeah.
it shows that we see them, and therefore we want someone else to see them. This is why edification is such a big part of communication.
Hmm. Yes. And when someone edifies you, say you are in a networking event or a party or whatnot, and then somebody introduce you to another person and then say, hey, meet Sifo. He is an amazing communicator. He has all the shows and brings people together. And I love his story. And you don't have to say anything, but the person across from you already, wow, wonderful. It's great to meet you. This is where magic starts to happen. So you don't have to introduce yourself, which, by the way, I sometimes, and I started doing this sometimes too, and I'm not doing this anymore, because when people ask me on their show, hey, why don't you tell our audience who you are, what you do? I said, no, I really don't want that. Of course, yes, but there is a different dynamic and a different energy. You do the introduction. And once I started shifting, and people say, oh wow, thank you for the introduction, they feel good about themselves, and it is such a great feeling for all participants.
Absolutely. That's something, kind of my superpower actually is, and the way I work to describe it is, you can present you. Typically, I can present you better, not from an egotistical or arrogant place, but from a psychology place, right? You tell me you're awesome. What do I expect you to say? You're not awesome. You're probably
I
never going to
know.
say that, right? But if we say you're awesome, and we, we lay out your street credibility and everything that you've done, right, and all the experience you've had, and now ask you a question, what was that all like? And now you answer it the same way you would have. Now it's simply informational from you as well. It's no longer arrogant or egotistical on your part either. And so it's always much nicer to have somebody edify you and be able to lift you up than to do it yourself, even if it's just factual. It's all how it's received as well, correct?
Right. And if somebody asks you, why don't you tell us about yourself or introduce yourself, right? I'm not starting with, hi, my name is. No, I'm starting with a story.
Right.
Well, and then when you start with a story, you pull your audience in right away. And that's what I've learned as director and in my business, even as an actress. You start with a scene, getting your audience so close to where you are and what you experienced. Now they're experiencing it with you. And at the same time, they know who you are and what you do. So, of course, every story has to be connected to what you want to communicate.
Absolutely. I think one of the important things is, when we think about being seen, is how do we show up if we want to be seen? If we have the courage first to show up, I think that's an important aspect. When I started doing all my shows, I thought I had to read everybody's bio. Let me read their bio, and this is so. And the more I did shows, I said, I'm just reading from a script. So we don't do that anymore because the conversation edifies you. The way you speak, the way you communicate, the way you you acknowledge someone else on the screen. Because this is a screen thing, right? This is a virtual, even though it's live. Everybody, we are live, and if you watch this
Mhm.
on the replay, you can definitely share it with someone. But when we edify a person, sometimes we edify before we know them, but I rather edify somebody because I've known them. I got to know a little bit about them. So the way we like to do it on the show is we edify you the more we speak. And I think I like that best. And maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm not doing it the right. Everybody expects me to do it. But guess what? I'm not here to satisfy everybody. I
And
do
it's
this
your
show.
show.
Well, I do this show for foolish and crazy reasons because I love the connections, the communication, the guests that we bring on. I love partnering up with Scott and that we can bring and have this conversation with you, Sabine. So when we think about the way we do things, we don't always have to do it the way everybody else does it. And that's the courage that I think I've had my whole life. But in the beginning, when I started doing shows, I said, "Oh, I better do it like so and so is doing it." And I said, "Wait a minute, that's their gig. This is my gig, right? This is mine and Guy and Scott's gig. So we're going to do it differently." And so it, yes, I used to read the. I'm going to bring up to the stage, and that's fine when we do a speaking event because some people may want to know who it is that they're going to meet.
Mhm.
But here, you have to stick around, kids. You have to stick around to find out how incredible Sabine is, how incredible Scott is. So that's the whole thing. So stick around and keep learning.
Very much so. I mean, I think that's part of the story, right? And I totally agree with you, Sabine, on the fact that it comes down to the story and why do we do this in the first place? Uh, it's about sharing thoughts and ideas for other people's consideration and just creating some thoughts to ponder, as we say here in Texas.
Mhm.
That to really be able to sit down and think about it. So again, I think it's fascinating when you say, if somebody asks you, what do you start with? The story. I think it's a great tip because I just came off a call earlier today, and we were talking about meeting new people, and the question was, what do you know to be true when you meet somebody new? And my answer was, in that case, was people love to hear themselves and they love to be acknowledged. And so, if you know that to be true, then allow people to be heard.
Mhm.
Allow them to be seen and heard. And
Mhm.
I would bet a big part of what you're doing directing is exactly that, lifting them up.
Right. Now I don't have my performing arts school any longer. I sold this a few years ago because I decided, again, you go from one step to the next, one elevation to the next, how you grow as person and also how you can make a difference. And yes, I made a difference in a lot of students' lives. I got a lot of people in front of agents and casting directors starting their career. Now I work with entrepreneurs and business professionals, especially in the time we live in right now. AI taking over so much of our lives. I saw two things. Number one, people are starting to get so sick and tired of all the AI produced content. I use AI too, and sometimes I do it for fun and I say, okay, that's AI, right? But when I talk about what I do and some of the teachings, it's going to be me in front of the camera or my written word from out of my book. I quote from my books and have my picture there. People want to feel the authenticity of the connections and of the people that they see. So that's number one. Number two is that so many jobs are being displaced through AI, and we have so many wonderful, amazing human beings with great skills. Now they are flocking in to the online marketplace to sell, quote unquote, their skills, to coach, to do whatever they need to do. Now, and if you do not master communication skills, if you do not master the art of storytelling, you will be left behind because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you show up as yourself in front of the camera or in real life, you share your story that connects to people, you are so far ahead of anyone else. And for me, as former director, that's a new role of directing, and I'm helping those entrepreneurs to stand out. I teach them how to share their story, the way to share the story, how to use their body language, vocal variety, and put it into their business model that they have. And then I see them fly, and that is beautiful.
I love that. I think that's an important aspect of helping people ride, right? Teach them how to be seen,
Yeah.
teach them how to have the courage to be seen, and teach them that when they are seen, how to actually perform in that scene, right?
Yes.
Because everything in life is. I tell some of the leaders that I work with, and I say to them, "You know, you're a goldfish, right?" They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're a goldfish. You're circling in that bowl, and people are watching every step you do. So be careful and realize that when you are out in public, your behavior will be noticed, whether you notice it or not. So be the same everywhere you are, whether you're in your car, you're on a train, on a plane, on a stage in front of uh, your team, on the boardroom. Realize that everybody's watching everything you do, even when you don't realize you're being watched.
Hmm.
So that's an important aspect, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that I share is act as if you're always on camera because in this day and age, pretty much you are.
Very true.
you know, I mean, you might as well. Again, it's about being seen. How do you want to represent yourself consistently? And a big part of it is having that high intention, low attachment, right? A high intention of doing great things for everybody that you're in front of, and a low
Hmm.
attachment as to what it even means for them or for you, just to be out there, uh, being of service, you know,
Hmm.
adding some positivity to the planet. There's plenty of other stuff. You might as well be seen in a great light wherever possible.
Right. And to that point, what both of you just made is, how do you show up? And that is another point that I always make, and make sure that my clients and the audience understands that, is not just how you show up when you are on camera or you record something or you speak somewhere. No, how do you show up congruently also on your social media platform,
Right.
right? And so oftentimes I see for example, the LinkedIn doesn't even have a banner, or it just says something that doesn't even tell me as the audience. So what does that person do? for me, right? Oftentimes I am this, right? Or then I look at Facebook and there's something total different, and like a picture of the ocean or the dog or whatnot that doesn't tell me anything. Unless you just want to have it private, then okay. But if you want to use it as your billboard, you have to show up as you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like with, for men, you don't have to have a Schlipsenkragen, we would say in German, you know. But if you are a fitness instructor, yeah, come up with your fitness clothes. If you are more professional, have a suit or a blouse or a shirt, whatever. That is what I mean by be congruent with who you are, also how you show up. If you want be seen, be heard, and hired.
Sabine, I got to tell you, you talked about AI and that you come out and when you're doing a session, teaching anything, it's you. You're authentic. Do you know how many coaches I personally know who have updated their profile pictures and it's a skinnier version of them? It's a prettier version of them. And I'm
I
like,
don't.
wait a minute. It's almost like that bait and switch on those dating apps that back in the day, you think you're meeting somebody and they say they're 6'2". Meanwhile, they come down, they're 5'2". I'm like, wait a minute, was there a typo here? What's going on? So, but now coaches are doing it and they're impersonating something else. They're impersonating, well, look how many times, and it's very, very funny when people show like they're on a plane, on a private jet, and then they pull away and they're actually holding up a toilet seat, right? And it's the funniest thing ever because they're like, oh yeah, wait a minute, I'm not really that rich. I'm just holding a toilet seat. But it's about being authentic everywhere you are. So
Mhm,
for those coaches who think like, oh wow, I'm going to get on the bandwagon because so and so who's really they're doing great, they're doing well off. Are they? Or is that the
mhm,
perception they want you to have? And then you're following their footsteps. What's that telling you about you? How
mhm.
authentic are you? So I'm going to encourage all coaches out there, show up as you. Stop
Yeah.
this nonsense. Don't let AI steal your identity.
I love that you brought that up, Sifu, because all the time I see this like, wow, a great person, and then I see then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get shocked, right? And now, if you have a picture of yourself, put it up there. Do I sometimes use ChatGPT to do something? Of course. I upload my picture and it's getting so good, very close, because I don't have that item that I wanted to show here yet, but through the technology we can do this because I wanted to convey something with that image, right? But when you are on your profile, the profile picture, everything that you post, by all means, be it, let it be you, how you really look like. And I don't mind if you do a little touch ups, to look good. I know, especially for women, I'm not immune to that. I wanted to look my best, obviously. But when you come up with it skinny looking and beautiful and all of a sudden you have to have a conversation like that in real life, and
Mm,
or you're being hired as a speaker, and then they see you and they say, oh my gosh, you don't want that. Rather the opposite way. Show up, and when you show up in person, you're even more beautiful because
sure,
you're authentic you, right?
absolutely. I like that. Show up more beautiful.
That's exactly it. It's always intriguing, especially if you do a number of live events, which we've been blessed to do lately, and you meet somebody in person. You go, hmm, I
I
thought we
know.
knew each other, but evidently we didn't. You
Yeah.
know, and so I agree, and we live in a we live in such a me now society, and
Mhm.
people are So I agree with Sifu and you both on what you're saying about it all. It's, be who you are
Mm-hmm.
and do it. I mean, it's it's so important to, and you said the word earlier, congruent, right? Your words, actions, and deeds match. A novel concept, right? That it actually all comes together the same way, and people can then depend upon you. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was one of the things in this speaking industry. I was blessed to do thousands of events, and the promoters knew they could depend on how I would show up. When I would show up, I'd be there on time. When I would finish, if I was supposed to be done. I did an event last week, and the promoter walked up and said, "Hey, we need to cut some time. Everybody's run long." I said, "What do you need?" And they
Yeah.
told me exactly what they needed, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll pull the chute here and pull it," and ended with 12 seconds on the clock. And he's like, "Thank you for the respect." And I said, "Well, isn't that what this is all about? Is being respectful when you're given the opportunities, but doing that consistently as well."
And being a professional, and
Right.
who knows that. And that is like, in the acting world, you have to be on time. On time means 5 minutes early, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure you end on time. And when you speak, same thing. When you have speakers who just go on and on and on, or are done too early, you have to make sure, what is my time? I stay in that time frame. And then again, what you just did, whatever is needed as performer, the show must go on. You have to improvise. You have to do whatever it takes to get the show done the best way. And I've always operated that way, and it served me well.
Yeah, I
It's
learned
very. Go ahead, Scott.
I learned a long time ago. The promoter is number one. The audience is number two. I'm third at best, right? If you match the theme of the promoter and what they're doing and the entire production, and you provide value to the audience and you do that well, and you're consistent with that, you'll be taken care of. It'll all
Yeah.
work out okay. And it's amazing to me how many people don't understand that process, that it's really about matching the theme of the person who brought you in to begin with. You know,
Hmm.
and I'm sure working with actors and actresses, you've probably had a few that might have had an ego that was bigger than the event itself. Or
Yeah.
am I making that up?
No, you're absolutely right. There are quite a few, and but sometimes you have to have that to push through some in the acting world, uh, s- some limitation for yourself, but you really don't need to, when you are authentic and you are good and you give your best, right? You don't need that stuff. And usually people with that big huge ego, they're very insecure, and they need that, otherwise they would just falter. I think that's what it is. But coming back to the world of speaking, and when you're on stages and being congruent with who you are and being professional, looking at the audience and what it is. I was speaking at an event in June for for a media event, and it was a whole day, and it was the audience at the end was really tired of one speaker after another, and I was the closing keynote. Now, since my background is the entertainment industry, I could pull a little bit from it. So I'm also a singer songwriter. So I had a song. Everybody should have a walk on song, right? And I didn't find anything. And so, oh, I just used my own one. Glad that I did, because that was like very powerful and exciting. And I chose to adapt my beginning a little bit to get people waking up again. So I went up on stage and I got them all up, and I just want to have a little clip. No, I said, let it run until I tell you it's done. So we went up and we're clapping and everybody was standing up. And then I was singing along with that as a, oh, wow. You were singing, that was your song? I said, yes. But the whole idea is sometimes we have to improvise, adapt to get people, the audience going. And the organizer, the promoter, came up to me afterwards and thanked me, and she wants to have me back. So here you have it.
That's what I was going to talk about before. We're talking about the courage to be seen, but I say it's the courage to be seen over and over and over and over and over again, because the courage to get on that stage, for some people, it's horrendous. For other people, it's a breeze, right? For the three of us, I know that I love getting on a stage, and if one is not there, I will build the stage. Scott can tell you he saw me do that in Philadelphia, when everybody else was talking from the floor, and I got up. Almost people thought I was on the table. No, I got on a chair, and people from the back, they're like, "Oh my God, you got up on the table!" I was like, "No, I was on the chair." But we create our own stages, and it's about being seen. The other thing I want to talk about is, as somebody who puts on events, sometimes I will let the people know how long they have, and then if they're going to go over, I have a clock there that tells them it's got to count them. And if they miss that cue, I will tell them, "Hey, guess who's in control of your mic?
Yes.
This guy. This guy's in control of your mic. And if you continue going, say past a minute, which is way long already, your mic will be off, and then you'll just be talking to yourself. And then we're going to come out and clap for you because you're done, right?" And that's not a professional speaker. That's somebody who just doesn't care, and they think that they're there. They're the only one that everybody came for, right? And I do not like the fact that usually you go to events and it's a speaker after speaker after speaker, and you getting all of a sudden wah 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 wah, because you've heard so much. They don't give you. Sometimes I've been to an event, there was no breaks.
Oh,
It started at 9 in the morning, went till 6, and they didn't even have a bathroom break. I'm like, are you guys nuts? Don't you understand that people need to like shut their brains off for at least 10 minutes?
yeah.
So my events, we shut people off. We put music on. We let them hang out, go to the bathroom, all these different things. So the courage to be seen is real, but you have to be professional about it, as you both have spoken.
Mhm.
And for me, when I bring somebody on my stages, I know who they are. I don't just bring anybody on my stage, because everybody's a speaker. Everybody's a speaker. But the quality of speaker that we're looking for is one that can actually carry an audience, can hold them and say, "Hey, I'm going to deliver and over deliver to you guys what you need. And I'm here for you. I'm not here for me." So the ones who are speakers and there for themselves, please find another stage. Stage to the left.
That's right. And that is a skill that you can learn. What I teach is a lot from my acting background, because you have to learn the skill of holding the energy of the pause.
Mhm.
There is huge energy in a pause to pull your audience in closer. Or, and if you want them to get a little bit more excited, you get excited, you have that speech that is a little bit louder and a little bit faster and energetic, and yes, 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 yes. But then you have to stop and have that energy. And when you master those things, people are just glued to you. And then of course, stories in infliction as well. So yeah, totally get it.
I love that you brought up music because I'm going to play some for you right now. Take a look.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up this city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience mastermind, where purpose is found.
Woo, I see Sabine is moving.
I cannot sit still. It's such a great rhythm, right?
Yeah. And that's what we talk about, the New York City experience, bringing that vibe, if you will, right? And somebody said to me, wait a minute, New York City experience in Atlanta? Yes, because we're bringing the vibe. We've done it plenty of times in New York City, but now we've brought it to Tampa, and that was energetic. And when we do anything, if we don't bring the energy, man, I'm not a hotel. I don't want to put people to sleep and give them a bed. I want to create a dance party, right? I want to create an environment where people can connect and create connections in deeper levels than if just sitting there and listening to a speaker after a speaker after a speaker. So we break out into masterminds. We do a lot of interesting and different things. And that's why I started creating events like this.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you know what? When you come back to Tampa next time, because that's where I live, just a half an hour from Tampa. So
Oh
I'm
my
looking
gosh,
forward to
I wish I would have known you earlier because we
Yeah.
did it in February, right?
it.
But don't worry, we'll be back.
I think it's amazing when people they don't understand the value of, you said it earlier, inflection and changing pace, and they're 100 miles to nothing, going as fast and as hard as they can the entire talk, or they're very slow and methodical. It's about modifying and inflection and changing, and but again, I think that's it takes courage to be able to do that. Is you've got to make it dance, and you might not be physically dancing unless you're Sifu. Then you are. He would just jump up and start. But I mean, it's about actually moving, and if you, and you so accurately said it, if you want to move the audience, you need to move. There needs to be something for them to grasp onto to take that energy as well. And again, it's interesting. As a student of the industry, I love watching people present and all the different things, because there's so many different styles and so many different ways of doing it. But who are the ones that truly captivate and capture? Those are the ones that are all my favorite.
It's very interesting when you can actually take a look at, say, there's 5 speakers, one right after the other. And maybe there is a break, and then you can go go to the bathroom and do all that. But then you come back and you sit down because you were invigorated by the previous speaker. And then you sit down and you're energized, and then all of a sudden, because that speaker did not keep the energy or bring different energy. We don't have to keep the same energy, but we
Right.
have to have some sort of energy, and we can bring, you know, up and down crescendos, if you will, in our thing. And the other thing is, when you talked about moving, both of you, it's there's an art in moving, right? Because I've seen people get a microphone and they're like
Oh,
I'm watching a tennis
Pacing.
match. My head is going to be hurting after a while. I'm like, stop, stand still, talk to us.
Yeah.
And then you have the rockers back and forth, and but everybody has their own idea of what it means to get out there. But I love the fact that somebody can be courageous enough to say, my message is more powerful than me. So let me share my message with you. And not in exactly those words, but the way they speak from the heart, and they speak about knowledge that they have had, an experience that they have had. It becomes more real. And that's where the stories really set in. That's where people can actually start to, oh my God, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more,
Yeah.
right? And that's the beauty of a professional speaker who understands the value of what Scott talked about. It's a dance. You can't just dance without rhythm. There's a rhythm to that.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. And when someone has a powerful message, has a way to share this message, has the skills, the presentation skills, speaking skills, pronunciation, so we actually understand them, and also knows how to take the stage. Again, if you do this or pacing, you break that magic energy that your story has. But the person who has it all together, those are the ones who are hired either by clients or by event coordinators to come back. And oftentimes people miss that. And it's so sad when I hear a person say, oh, I have a great story and it's so inspiring. I can inspire people. I said, yes, you do. But do you know how to tell it in a way that they pay attention till the end and not just the first 2 minutes and then you lost them? And people don't understand that there is a science to it, right?
mhm.
Not to say you have to do A, B, C, in that. No, no, no. You still are you, but you still need to learn and apply the skills to become an outstanding speaker.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there's a combination of both science and also art, and that's where the personalization comes in. Is when you add the art to it, and your own flair and your own personality and things like that, along with the appropriate tactical process to it all. I mean, obviously, it's what makes actors and actresses so fabulous is being able to add the art to it all. Yes, they've got to communicate the message, but that's where, again, going back to the storytelling and the things like that. Uh, at one time, a number of years ago, uh, as I've been doing that for a while, is you go, boy, if I could ever do that, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing it, and you go, oh, how did that show up? you know,
Overnight, as some people think, right? No, it's
oh yeah,
years of preparation and working on it.
yeah. I mean, it's the again. I encourage people to be a student of their industry, whatever it is, right, and just watch other people because there's always something you can learn, no matter how much you've done or how many you've done. It's people say some pretty cool things or grab people in certain ways, and if you've never seen it before, it's like, wow, that's really powerful. I want to make note of that.
Absolutely. Well, guess what time it is? It is time to say buenos dias. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with us. Sabine, we'd love to learn a little bit more about you. You have about 45 seconds. Your website is going across the bottom. How can somebody connect with you?
Just go to my website, and there you can do two things. You can schedule a time with me if you're interested, if something strikes you and you're interested to learn more how you can work with me. Currently, I opened up two new slots for private coaching. So that is one thing. And the other is I am working on my fifth book, which is an anthology. I invite entrepreneurs who have a powerful story to tell that story in my new book, Become Empowered Entrepreneur. And if you have one, I encourage you to go to my website, and there is a button for an application. So we go through the application form, and then you schedule a time. And when we see it's a good fit, because you will personally, everybody's personally vetted, then we invite you to the next step and become part of this book as a co-author.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Scott, you're up, my friend.
Awesome. I love helping people, and similarly, I've just opened up coaching spots as well to serve more people. Quite frankly, my greatest joy is hearing the results that are coming from my coaching clients, and the life change and the extra experience that they're having in their situation. So, would love to do that. At least have a conversation and learn more about you and how I can be of service. Been doing speaking, training, and coaching for a long time at this point. Some of us more mature folks, that's code word for older. We've got some experience along the way. So would love to share that experience and wisdom with you.
I love it. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I'm Sifu Raphael. I'm very easy to find, sifuraphael.com. On there, there's a way you can even apply to be on some of the shows that I have. I do happen to have just a few, maybe 10. And also, there's opportunities for you to work with me. There's opportunities for you also to get into the best shape of your life. Um, Scott is one of my clients, and he's not a client. He is just an amazing human being who has really learned that transformation can happen at any stage. And because he's been on so many stages, I think he transforms every stage he goes to. So do us a favor, connect with all three of us. And the best thing you can do for someone, if you watch this on the replay, is share this show. There was so many golden nuggets that you can take away, and we're excited to have you back next time. Sabine, Scott, God bless. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank you.
beautiful and powerful rest of your day. Take care, everybody.
Have a fabulous week, all.